Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alejandra Sofia and I am a soul level astrologer tuning into the full moon in Gemini on November 22nd, 2018. And I'm tuning into it from today, November 20th, 2018. And tuning ahead to the near future and feeling the energies that we're currently in the midst of. There's many things happening at once, of course, because we live in a dynamic, multi-dimensional field that's unfolding within us and around us. And so this full moon that's coming in on November 22nd has an incredible amount of energy. We are in there's a real push right now, a real push to come out from wherever you are, where you're staying too low inside of yourself and in corridors of your psychology that are your insecurity. So this full moon coming in Gemini is culminating at moon phase 15. That's the 15th moon phase, where the new moon is moon phase 1. So it's the culmination of what began, of the seed that is blossoming what's blossoming from the seed of November 7th, our November 7th Scorpio new moon. And so in feeling into everything about this new moon, full moon cycle that's unfolding is about coming out from the places you've been hiding inside of yourself because of conditioning, deep traumatic imprints that caused you to separate from yourself and your community and your family. And there's something happening side by side with your own reality, is that life is changing, culture is changing. Times have changed, and there's a real collective call. Scorpio absolutely is a sign that is woven into the collective psychology of unresolved issues and traumas and dramas that continue to unfold on our planet, that we see so visibly at this point in evolution. And so on a personal level, the way this works is that in order for things to change, we need people to individuate. So this is an individuating full moon that comes from the birth and the rebirth. Absolutely, this is rebirth territory of the rebirth coming from your own metamorphosis, your own transformation, and you releasing yourself from your attachments to your insecurities and going beyond. So the sun comes in. The sun is still in Scorpio right now, and in the galactic degrees of Scorpio, and doing its work to push on these places inside of individuals. And today it's tomorrow, November 21st, we have the sun in the very last degree of Scorpio forming a quincunx to Uranus that's retrograde at the last degree of Aries. And that is a fiery, steamy place to break on through to the other side. And then the sun moves into Sag, and then the moon comes in and forms an opposition. And that particular opposition, the Sagittarius and Gemini polarity, is very, in my system of astrology that I work with, it's called Star Genesis, it's an actional mind. It's an actional polarity. It's about bringing what's inside of you out. It's they're two of the most outside sign journeys, Sagittarius and Gemini. They want to activate the field. They're alive with the field. On a soul level, these two signs are alive with the field, and in very different ways. But because they're the only polarity that are in this actional polarity, so they're mirroring something very interesting to each other that's very different from how the other polarities, the other sign journeys are mirroring each other. And given that this full moon is going to be at the first degree The sun is going to be at the 1st degree of Sag. The moon's going to oppose the sun at moon phase 15 at the 1st degree of Gemini. That 1st degree frequency is, the key phrase is I emanate. I emanate. So it's an I am frequency. And it's not about the mind, it's not about the intellect, it's about being the holy child. It does have a connection, and I wasn't necessarily taught that the 1st degree frequency is connected to the Fool's card in the tarot deck, but I'm linking it to that. And that I feel that there's this just being the holy fool, and so that means really following your creativity, really being connected to yourself and trusting. And so that's part of the big healing that's possible right now, and the joint and the joining of forces of your own self with yourself to say yes to your life, to say yes to new creative avenues. So because the sun is conjoining Jupiter and Sag within a 3-degree orb on this full moon, everything about this full moon in this moment, this time that we're in, at the same time, we have Neptune stationing at 14 degrees Pisces, and is preparing to go direct on Saturday. So we're really in a saturated field of being filled on the inside and supported inwardly to move in new directions that have been unknown to you, you know. And Sag is the adventurer. Sag loves the unknown, you know, and there are other parts of us that might be scared of it, but Sag is like, you know, I'm gonna die someday, and I want to really take up this adventure. Sag is the cosmic adventurer. Sag knows it's on this mystical journey, and knows there's solutions to everything. Sagittarius is an immensely creative sign, extremely creative sign, and we all have the Sagittarian life stream pouring through us, the sign journey. I'm speaking some of my astrological lineage when I say things like life stream. And so we all have the Sagittarius sign journey pouring through us. And in my system of astrology that I study, it's connected to and ruled by Neptune. So given that traditional astrology, Sagittarius is Jupiter and Neptune ruled. Now, Neptune has a fire inside of its core. And I know there's a lot of talk about how watery and Piscean Neptune is. And yes, that is absolutely a expression that pours through, a resonance that pours through Neptune. But there's, at the very core of Neptune, there's a fire, and it's a mystical fire. And so I don't want to go too deep into Neptune, but given that Neptune is ruling, having a very strong rulership of this full moon, because that full moon light is receiving the sun, the Sagittarian sun, and there it is, conjunct Jupiter. So there's this immense radiance pouring through the 1st degree frequency, catching, conjoining, fusing forces with Jupiter and Sag that loves to be in Sag. And so this really strong, deep, yang, yin yang, outgoing energy, masculine energy that's pouring through and radiating towards the moon, and then the moon holding and reflecting through the Gemini sign journey. And Gemini is this it's multifaceted, and it's an air sign, and it's a very quicksilver air sign. I mean, it is like when Gemini opens up to the universe, it's like, holy God. I mean, Gemini is like a total know-it-all. I'm sure we all know some Geminis where we're like, oh my God, totally. Gemini's the know-it-all. Because Gemini is in this field of, and I'm actually I'm totally minimizing Gemini there. So apologies. There's so much more to Gemini. Gemini is really filled with all these possible emanations of itself. And so I've seen a lot of Geminis that are able to kind of move in between genders, play with genders. Even like my heterosexual friends, I've had, heterosexual friends who kind of play with more boyish, female friends that play with more boyish clothes. And so they're sort of playing with, there's two pop stars that I think of as well who really played between female and male archetypes, and it's Madonna and Prince. And Prince was a Gemini, and he still is. He still is in heaven somewhere. And Madonna, I forget where she, I think she has her midheaven in Gemini. So she didn't have any planets, and she doesn't have any planets in Gemini, but they're just two people who I really on, you know, in this world stage, were really playing with male, female. And so how I connect that so how that streams through Gemini, and why that's important is that it's important now, why it's important right now, and how this is in fact affecting and influencing all of us, is that it's to play out these other sides, to connect with these other sides of yourself, because you are multifaceted. And if you've been playing in a certain identity, this full moon is about you getting out of old identities in every way, because this full moon started at moon phase 1 with the new moon in Scorpio. So it's about getting through some of the places, that excavating deep parts of yourself where you're holding resistance to your own life and not playing and not having fun and saying no and no and no and no. And so this is about like really lean up against your nose and go hell yeah. And it's a funny phrase, hell yeah, but like to say yes, you know. And I want to have my joy. I'm going to say yes to these new facets of myself. And there's a real also the healing that's required if you're, you know, rolling out arrogance and judgment towards these other parts of yourself, and it's just keeping you in these corners. So really, that's part of the healing. Absolutely, is essential, is breaking through judgment. And judgment, I'm gonna say, judgment is always connected to arrogance. You can't be judgmental without being arrogant. They are entwined energies. So that can be a hard thing to swallow, but I say be brave, my friends. You know, these are things that I'm unpacking in myself, and these are the only reasons why I can actually talk about these sign journeys, is unpacking these deep layers inside of myself that have been stopping me from being me. And so again, part of what is making this time so full and rich is that there's a lot of people. This world is ready for something new. This world is dying for something new. This world is dying and needs something new. And so there is a rich field of what also feels like companionship and groups and people that you can join in with. There's a real evolutionary stream that's happening on the planet right now, and join up with those groups that are teaching you about neuroscience, that are teaching you how to, you know, just teaching you ageless, timeless wisdom, you know, in this modern time. And that absolutely helps you give yourself permission to open up to your life, no matter what age you are. This is the signs that I give to agelessness are Sagittarius and Gemini. It's always in a field of learning and sensation. You are alive. You always have options. And so going back to that multifacetedness is that if you're feeling stuck, those are other sign journeys that feel stuck. Like Taurus gets stuck, and Scorpio gets stuck, and the fixed signs can get really layered. The fixed signs are really layered, and you have to dig deep and to get to those true parts of yourself that are holding fast inside of things like stubbornness and deep attachment and the unconscious things that are held in your own shadows that you can't see and are continuing to deny and be the naysayers in your own creative life. So this week that we're in, there's a real just pushing open doors, saying things like, fuck it, you know, and I got to do this, and it's time, and I need more levity. Sag really wants to bring levity to the situation, to the levity of gravity, you know, and when there's too much gravity, there's too much stuckness, then there's a lot of depression. And so it's bringing new solutions into your life and creative avenues. And absolutely, this is the artist's way full moon for sure. And I keep bringing up Sag, when it's a Gemini full moon, but it's because it's shining the light of Sagittarius, the Sagittarius sun conjunct Jupiter in Sag that loves to be. It's just a super expansive sign, but there's also inside the healing is, I feel, this wisdom of like, oh, the wise Sagittarian is understanding how to work, like, okay, I got to do, it's learning how to manage your time and keeping attention to your rhythms. And even though there's no Virgo happening right now, you can't get activate. We live in a holistic field. So, you know, what's behind the scenes is Virgo also in, because when planets get activated, when signs get activated, when the full moon's getting activated through the first degree frequency, still in the template of the blueprint, the other sign journeys are happening. So it feels like there's a lot of more integration and understanding about how to take care of yourself. So Virgo's there to kind of to really work with your Sagittarian nature. So what am I saying is to continue to you know, as you're reaping your own wisdom and understanding and continuing to open up your philosophy and adjust and fine tune yourself so that you are in self-checking as well, self-checking yourself, that you are not staying stuck inside of these rigid models that are actually you denying yourself and being a naysayer to your own life. So it is about opening up your life to more solutions. And if you've got challenges, and we all do, so I'm just going to say, not if, but all the challenges that you are up against, inside and out, this is about making the deep adjustments inside philosophically so that you can give yourself permission and open up to receive messages and, you know, imaginational, inspirational ideas, and then also connecting with others, because these signs really love to connect with others, Gemini and Sag. And Sag is the global village, and Gemini's the Gemini is just, you know, reveling in this field of all the intelligence and the beauty and on a soul level and possibilities. So when your Gemini stream gets activated, you're getting a lot of ideas. It's Mercury ruled. It's Mercury ruled, and so getting all of these ideas and writing them down. So finding different ways to get your ideas visible to you, because Gemini has a rulership of awareness, being aware of what you're thinking and feeling. So really pulling these things out of yourself, stick them on walls and whatever, put it in your recorder, sing it out, you know, film, whatever you need to do to get these messages out of you and visible to you, because this is about visibility. And it's most important that you're visible to yourself, and consequently you'll become more visible to others because you're being called to share yourself in new ways and that are authentic to you. So it's a very, very, very rich moment we're in, week that we're in, and I'm certainly feeling it. And I will be tuning into Neptune, as Neptune is stationing and moving direct in Pisces. I will be doing a video on Neptune, on the real Neptune, on who Neptune is. So stay tuned for that, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to, and I would love to have you subscribe. And I am a work in progress, so I appreciate you watching and appreciate any positive comments. Much love to you, and ciao for now.